Hi all, this video deals with the last two topics in PHP, that is cookies and session handling. So first we will go to cookies, how to handle cookies with PHP. A session is a time span during which a browser interacts with a particular server. Suppose if we open a browser, type in the domain name and start the session with the server. Until the time we close the browser, the session is active, or if we close that session, it will be active. The session begins when a browser connects to the server and it ends when the browser is terminated or the server terminates the session. There will be some allowed maximum time of inactivity in certain cases. For example, if you are dealing with sensitive applications like banking applications, server will be setting maximum time of inactivity. Hope you remember, if you enter some bank websites, if you keep the browser idle for more than a few minutes, then you will have to log in again. In that case, the server will automatically stop the session. Though that is the example of a session using a server. And we all know this. There is a client and a server. All the interaction, all the request will be going to the server, and this request will be packed as an HTTP request to the server, and finally the results which we get from the server to client is known as HTTP response. This HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol, so it has no mechanism to store information regarding a session. It is just connecting a request made during the session to some other request made by the same client during the session. But suppose take the example of a shopping cart. When we add items to a shopping cart from different tabs of a browser, it can just have all these items going into the same cart. So one of the common needs of information about a session is to implement shopping carts in websites. So HTTP is stateless and it cannot track the state of that connection. Now moving on to cookies, we'll first understand what is a cookie. Cookie is a small identifier which is used to identify a browser user or a client. It is a small file that is saved at the saved by the server to the client's computer. The server is the one who embeds the cookie, and it is saved at our browser location or the client computer, and they are basically used for tracking purpose, that is to identify who is the client. So this is how it works. First time when the client connects to a server, the server will be embedding a cookie in our system, and the next time when you connect, along with your HTTP request, this cookie data also will be sent to the server, and by using that cookie information, the server can identify who is the user and what is his preferences. Cookie includes a name value pair. It is a name, and cookie has a name and some value will be associated with that name. Then each time the same computer requests a page, it will be sending the cookie along with the HTTP request. So PHP support creation and retrieval of cookies. There are two important applications of cookies. One is shopping carts and other one is personalization. Shopping carts, as we all know, we do e-shoppings. In any e-commerce website like eBay or Amazon or whatever it is, we can have a number of simultaneous customers online. At any time, a customer can add an item or remove an item from the cart. So each user's shopping cart is identified by a session identifier, and it can be implemented as cookies also, but certainly cookie has some disadvantages. We'll discuss it later. So there will be an identifier for the user's shopping cart, and in this case it can be implemented as a cookie. So whatever number of tabs any customer opens, it will be identified as the same user, and all the items that you purchase. Suppose that in one tab you purchase shoes, in another tab you purchase mobile phones. All these items will be going to a same shopping cart. This identification is done with the help of the cookie saved at the client site, and this cookie will be sent to the server whenever you try to connect it using browser. Second use of cookie is personalization. So a user, nowadays you know that every web activity that we do are being tracked, and you can see that whenever you visit, suppose one day you have searched for certain shoes, certain brand shoes, the next day onwards when you try to enter the website or when you try to browse, you will be getting all advertisement related to shoes. So that is one example of personalization. And also the user, some preferences if you have made, the website will be remembering all your user preferences and the parts of the site that are visited by the client. This is known as personalization, and this is used for target advertising campaigns to the client in line with the client's past interests. That is what you said. One day you have browsed for bags, next day onwards you will be getting all the advertisement of different models of bags. One day if you have tried to shop for a mobile phone, next day onwards you will be getting similar as per your taste, whatever features you have searched for, as per those conditions you will be getting targeted advertisements. Also, in some cases, if server recognize a client history, it is possible to present a customized interface to that client. And suppose if you have some sites track your location, and you will be getting weather reports and news updates which is as per your region. So this is the second application of cookies, which is personalization of the user. These are some of the uses of cookies. Cookies helps to store information about sessions at the browser system itself. The three steps are: it is created by the server, then it is stored at the client or the browser, and next time when the browser sends any web server request, those cookies are sent to the server, and thereby the server can identify the user. The cookies are sent by using the header of HTTP communication. So this cookies should be created before the start of an HTML body part. We will see that later. Regarding the lifetime and security of cookie, whenever a cookie is created, it will be assigned a lifetime. For example, it will be for 2 years or 1.5 years, similar to that. And whenever the lifetime expires, it is deleted automatically from the browser's host machine. Only the server that created a cookie can ever receive the cookie from the browser. Suppose if W3 school, if you are first visiting W3 schools, they will be storing some cookies in my system, and second time when you revisit the page, W3 school server will be identifying you as a user. Only that cookie will be accessed by that particular server. No other servers can access the cookie stored by other servers. Cookie information is exchanged exclusively between one specific browser and one specific server, and cookies allow server to record browser activity. So coming to the security concerns, the privacy concerns always arises. You know that in YouTube and all, if you search for one particular type of video, next day onwards you will be getting similar videos. So there are certain privacy concerns involved, and also other thing is that sometimes the cookies may be malicious too. The disadvantage from the server side is sometimes the user can delete the cookies at the browser. So in my system it is stored, so anytime I can go and delete the cookies. Or also we can change the browser setting to refuse to accept cookies. Sometimes some browser prevents storing cookies. So the drawback from the server aspect is that it is useless when the clients reject it. Now we move on to how to create cookies. A cookie is set using setCookie function in PHP. This is the format of setCookie function. SetCookie, the two things which are essential, one is the name and then the value, and the third one is the time of expiry. The remaining, all except the name are optional, but these three values are essential normally for any cookies: name, value, and expiry time. Then path, domain, secure, and HTTP only. These are optional parameters. First thing, cookie name is given as a string. The first parameter is the name of the cookie, which is given as a string. Second parameter is the value of the cookie, which is also given as a string. If value is absent, that cookie will be undefined. It is not bound to any values. The third parameter is the expiry time. It is given as seconds, and generally we use the time function to add the expiry time. We will see the details. You can refer details on other parameters. Path specify the directory for which the cookie is valid, and domain and security is used to set security aspects. Security will be set to 1 to specify you secure transaction. It is set to 0 for normal HTTP transactions. This is an example of creating a cookie using setCookie function. SetCookie is the function name. Orted, this is the name of my cookie and this is the value of my cookie. And you can see how the time value is added here. So time function is used. Time function will give the current date and time of your system, and you can add extra times to that. So this will retrieve you the current time. If you want to add a cookie for 1 day, you know that all this value should be given in seconds. So 1 day contains how many seconds? 60 seconds into 60 minutes. How many hours are there? 24 hours. So this is the total number of seconds added to get 1 day lifetime. If you want to get it for 5 days, you have to multiply it with 5. So thereby you can give the expiry time as per your requirement. If you want to get it for 30 days, you have to multiply it with 30. So if you want to get it for 1 year, you have to multiply with 365 because that's the total number of days. So this is how you give cookies expiry time. Please do remember this. And one thing which is very important, I already said that cookie data will be sent to server in the header part of HTTP request. Hope you remember the HTTP request and reply format. HTTP request has a header, then it leaves a blank line, and then the body starts. The body is nothing but the tag starting with HTML, the data starting with the first HTML. So cookie, whenever your web page starts your first HTML tag, that will be taken as HTTP body part. So you want to send the cookie data before that. So always the cookie creation should be done before your first HTML tag. SetCookie function must appear before the HTML tag. This is the reason for that. And now how to access the cookie values, how to get the subsequent values from a cookie. Again, we will be using a super global array. It is also quite easy to remember, global $_cookie. That is the name of the array. This is again an array, so you can use the square bracket, and within square bracket you can give the name of the cookie as the key. You can retrieve the value of the cookie. So cookie name are the keys and the cookie values are the subsequent values. And you can check whether cookie value set or not using ESET function as the case of any variable. Cookies has some disadvantages when we look from the server point of view. Users can set their browser to reject all the cookies, or browsers limit the number of cookies sometimes. Also the user can even delete the cookies. So from a server point of view, sometimes its aim will not be met. So this is an example of creating a cookie named user with a value John, and this cookie has an expiry time of 30 days. So this will be multiplied with 30, and slash means it is available for all the entire website, that is for the directory itself, and $_cookie variable is used. So here is the example. So remember this. So I have added the script part before my first HTML. Why this? Because Only then the cookie value can be sent as header. Whenever it sees first HTML part, it will be taken as a blank line will be left and it will be taken as the HTTP body part. So this should be always done with a PHP delimiters before the first HTML. So I have the name user and cookie value dondo. Those are stored in two variables. And I'm using the set cookie function with cookie name as first parameter, cookie value as the second parameter, and the time as the third parameter. This fourth parameter may not be required. Then finally, how will you access it? Within HTTP, I can access it like this in the same page itself, or you can access it later on. So first of all, I'm checking is set, whether the cookie is set or not. So $_cookie name. So this is how you access the cookie name, and this will give you the values. And this is the output. Cookie user is set, value is John Doe. Now editing a cookie value or modifying a cookie value, this can be done with the same function, same set cookie function. There is no different function for editing or deleting cookies. We have to give the name of the cookie here, and whatever new value you want to give, it can be given over here, and the time also has to be set. Now previously it was John Doe, name of the cookie. Now you try to access it, it will be Alex Potter. So this is how you change a cookie value. No new function to be remembered, the same set cookie function, but only the value has to be given as the new value. Again, coming to deleting a cookie, there also the same function is used. The name of the cookie has to be mentioned. We can leave the value as blank because it does not have a require a value. And this is how you delete it. What technique you have to give is, you have to give a time which is a date in the past, expiration date in the past. For example, time retrieves the current time. So if you give a minus symbol and give some value, it will 3600 is 1 day ago. So you can get it done with the help of a simple minus operation. And this means that the cookie was there till yesterday only, so it will not be existing today. This is how you delete a cookie. So remember, creation, editing and deletion of a cookie require no new function. The same set cookie function will be used. Once you create it, for editing you have to just change the value and give it in the set cookie itself. For deleting, you have to just set the time to a time in the past. We can have a count function to count the number of cookies set. So count $_cookie will give you the count function. So we can use for each, for as $_cookie is an array. So of course for each function can be used. So this function, we can print the key and values one by one using the for each statement. Please do remember the statement. $_cookie is an array. So for each statement can be used to print its key and value. This format already we studied in for each and arrays. So we can just print the key and values. We'll see an example. So here, this is the first example which we have already seen, and here I have another example where we are getting some data from the user in a form and using that form data to create cookies. So this is my first page, cookies.html. In that I have 3 input text boxes. First is named as name, second is height, and third one is color. And I'm getting the value name, height and favorite color, and I'm using this to write a cookie. So my method is post. So of course which super global will be used to get that value? $_post. And my action is cookies.php. On clicking the submit button, this cookies.php will be enabled. This is the cookie.php file. I'm going to create cookies. Of course, always remember, before the first HTML part, you have to create the cookie. So my PHP script for creating cookie is written over here. I have to define, I am defining the lifetime as a constant variable 5 days. You can use it directly also. So I'm creating 3 cookies. How will you get the cookie set the cookie, set cookie function, then name, and how will you get the value? The form data, whatever data you have entered in the form is accessed here. $_post name, $_post height, and $_post color. And the time can be given time plus 5 days. This is how you create the cookies. And find the HTML part. I'm going to access the cookie value. How will you access it? Just using array and index or key as the name of the cookie. My cookies are name, height, and color. So I can just access cookies name, height, and color using the array construct. So I'm going to print the cookie data which I have given, name, height, and favorite color. We'll see the example. So this is my cookies.html. I'm going to give a name Ron, height as 168, and favorite color as red. Then I'm going to write cookie. Then my cookie, this is my already written cookie. Only if you refresh it, you can see the new value. So you can see the new cookie is created with name as Ron, height as 168, and color as red. I have written a continuity form to modify the cookie and read the saved cookie again. So currently I have given Ron 168 red. So I have a read cookie file over here where I am resetting, modifying the cookie value. This is another page. So here I am giving new underscore name, new underscore height, and new underscore color. Just for identify, I am giving these values are new cookie values. On going back, so here I have added a link to read cookies. So I am clicking here. So on refreshing it, you can see there are already I have created 2-3 cookies using folders. That's why it is showing 5 cookies. So my current cookies, I'm giving the retrieving it, and I'm getting the values new underscore name, new underscore height, and new underscore color instead of Ron 168 and red. These are some other cookies which I have created. Now to delete the cookies, you can click here. So this is the for part which I have del cookies.php. In this I have created codes to delete cookie. So set cookie, name, height, color, no values required, and time I am setting as time minus 30. And finally, if I am trying to print the value, you can see the difference. So I am refreshing it. So the other values which were already visible is not here right now because that cookie is deleted. So this cookie is not at all existing now. So this is how you create cookie, modify cookie, and delete cookie. The details are given over here. Now moving on to the next topic, session tracking. We'll be seeing whether how to track the session details. The reason is same, HTTP is stateless, it cannot save the context of a user. So that is the same reason where we go for session also. Now comparing cookies and sessions, cookies can be disabled or deleted by the clients. We already have seen that. So this may not be always useful for a server. So server better prefer session tracking than cookies. So session is a concept in PHP to store user information in session variables, and these session variables can be used across multiple pages of a website. The applications are similar to what we have learned in cookies, like shopping carts, personalization, etc. And the main difference is session variables will be saved at the server itself. On the other hand, cookies are saved at the client. And this session variable lasts until the user processes the browser session, and they hold information about one single user, and it is available to all the pages of that particular web application. Again, we can use a super global variable $_session. So we have learned different super globals now. For the forms, we have used $_get and $_post. For cookies, we have used $_cookie. Remember that all the super global arrays, they are all arrays and they have their name should be all capital letters. So here another super global $_session. This is again an array which stores the session details. Whenever you create a session, it will be having a unique identifier for that session. So every session will have an ID and a single session array will be used to store information about that particular array. The session ID is unique and it is an internal value that identifies the session. Main difference, as I have mentioned earlier, session arrays are stored on server and cookies are stored on the client. So sessions, we as clients cannot do anything regarding session. Only the server can manage that. But as a client, a user can delete the cookies. This is the login flow of creating a session. The client will be first requesting a resource. The server will respond with this unique resource and a unique session ID, and all the subsequent requests will be containing a session ID, and that will be used for tracking the user, and they will be getting personalized responses. Now we'll see how to start a session, how to handle that. So here we have different functions for editing a session value or deleting a session value, not as in cookies. Cookies used only the set cookie functions to do all the activities. Here the start of a session is indicated by session_start function. You can easily remember it, session_start for starting a session. Again, similar to cookies, this must be the very first thing in your document before any HTML tags. And on creating this session_start, you will get a unique ID for that particular session. That ID will be created and recorded by the server. We can retrieve the session ID using session_id function. Now setting the values, there is no particular function. You can use the array directly. I hope you remember how to give values to an array. So $_session with square bracket, you can give the key value and equal to value. So hereby you can assign value directly using session array, and we can store session variables and their values. Again, these are all key value pairs. As you can see here, $_session color is equal to red. So the first session variable is created as color variable and its value is given as red. If you want to change it, just overwrite the value. So same statement is repeated, $_session color is equal to green. Now the session variable will be assigned with a new value green. For deleting session, we have unset function. Unset we already have learned in variables. Unset is used to delete any value from an array. So same, session is $_session is an array, so you can use the unset function. So $_session, and if you give color, then that particular value will be unset. And this will be unsetting only the color value or this particular variable alone. If you want to remove all global session variables, you have to use session_unset. So all the session functions are starting with the session keyword underscore that particular action, unset function. Simply if you give unset and as parameter, if you give a particular session array variable, that only that particular variable is removed. If you want to remove globally all the session variables, you have to use session_unset function. And finally, if you do the unset, only the variables and its values will be removed. The sessions still exist. You can add new variables and new values to that. But if you want to destroy the session itself, then it will be done using session_destroy. Generally, this whenever you try to, suppose you take the case of a web application, whenever you click the login page, you click a login into a page, then a session will be starting. All the subsequent pages will be checking the session variable, whether you are the right user or not. Finally, when you click on the logout button or you are logging out from that web application, the session underscore destroy happens and all your session details will be removed. Thereafter, you cannot enter into the function directly. So this is an example of setting session variables. This is my session part, get session. So here is the session setting. So remember, you have to start the session before the HTML begins. So in the first part, I am using the session underscore start function to start the session. Then in the HTML part, I'm just printing the session ID. How will you print the session ID? You can use the session underscore ID function. So session ID is this thing. Then how will you print the values? Just using the array and the key as the index to the array. I have two values for the session, favorite color and animal. And if you want to modify the value, fav color is equal to red. So we can print the new value. And here, this is an example of how you unset a single variable. Unset all underscore session fav color. Now there will not be any value for fav color. Now this is the way in which we remove all the session variables. Now here only the favorite color is removed. The favorite animal will be still there. But here if you do session underscore unset function, all these variables, both the favorite color and favorite animal, both these will be removed. You can add a new variable if you want. Finally, if you do, still it has a session ID. It will be having a session ID. And when you try to destroy the session underscore destroy, then the entire session will be removed and now session ID will be existing now. So here is the example. The session ID. So this is my first file. So here my session ID is set to this value and the session variables will be set. So echo session ID. So here I have session start and I am echoing the session ID. Session ID will be set with two values, favorite color and favorite animal, which contains the values green and cat. And these session variables will be retrieved at getSession.php. So this is my first file, getSession. Sorry, I have another file, setSession. So here is my setSession. So this is my first file where I am setting all these values and getSession will be retrieving these values. We'll see the example. So this is my set session. So my session ID is this. This is different with what we have seen here. In my slide, it was a different ID. So that was a separate session. Now the ID is different. Session variables are set. I'm going to click the get session to get the values. So you can see here the session ID is same. Previously also you got this same session ID. Color I have given as green and animal as cat. Then I have reset the value to red. So color is reset as red. And now, so this is just a warning because it has no value. I'm trying to get the value of color after unsetting it. So now there is no value, but still the session ID exists. If you remove all the values, then also the session ID exists. The same session ID will be printed finally. When you delete the session underscore destroy, then now no session ID will be there. ID will be unset. This is how you handle with sessions. The same example I have illustrated here. On session underscore set, the ID still exists. So here the ID is there. On session underscore destroy, now it will not be retrieved any ID. That is completely destroyed. If you remove unset one particular value, color value will not be there, but the animal value will be still there. So this is an example. So sessions are commonly used currently for handling a user entry and exit from a web page. Now this example shows the number of count the page visits. We'll be starting a session using session starts. Then I'll be setting a variable visits, and initially I'll use ESET function to check whether the variable is already set or not. That is to track the first visit. If it is all not set, it will be set to 1. If it is already set, it will be incremented, and it will print the message. So my page is page visit count.php. This is the example. Page visit count.php. So session has to be started. Then it will be checking ESET $session visits, and if it is already visited, it will be incremented. Otherwise, it will be set to 1, and finally this will be displayed. Of course, this should happen before HTML, and I'm just printing the session ID and this message. This message is formulated here. There are a number of times you have visited the page, and this message is here. Now moving back to my execution. Page visit count. So your session ID is this, and you visited the page 1 number of times. This is my first time of using this session. If you click again, you can see the page count incremented to 2. If you click again, it will be 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. That value will be on refreshing each time. That means you are visiting the page again and again. So now I'm clicked 14 times, and now it is 14 times you have visited this page in the session. Another similar thing that you can do is to display the page number. So a website will be containing multiple page numbers, so you can track which all pages, how many pages you have already visited in this. That can be done in a similar concept using a session variable. So I have 2 pages. I have created 2 pages over here in Sublime. So page count 1 and page count 2. I'm just tracking the pages. So whenever you visit this, you are just incrementing, setting the value 1 initially, and it will be incremented on each subsequent visit. So this is an example. So my page count 1. You have visited 1 pages. Now I am clicking, this is page 1. You can see in the header, this is page 1, and I am just going to page 2, which is also tracking the same session. So here count is 1. So you can see now this is page 2, and you have visited 2 pages. I have not used more pages. I'm just going back to page 1. So I'm clicking here. Now I'm back in page 1 and visited 3 pages. So how many pages you have visited in a website, that can be tracked. Again, if I'll go to page 2, and now 4 pages. So this is an example how you track the number of pages visited. So that's all about the topics in PHP. So we have learned primitives, operations and expressions in PHP. Then we learned control statements, arrays and several functions which support arrays, 2 types of arrays, indexed arrays and associative arrays, the mechanism to sort arrays, and different other functions like implode, explode, inArray, isArray, then for next function, end function, previous function to traverse through the array, then the for each statements to print the key value pairs of an array. Now we have learned functions, how you write a basic function, then what is a pass by value and pass by reference mechanism, how you set default parameter values, all those things we have learned in functions. Then pattern matching and some of the examples. Form handling, which is another important concept in PHP, where you pass the value and access it using super globals like $_get array and $post array. Cookies, set cookie function is to create. What are the 2 applications in set cookies? How will you access the cookie value? So here also super global $_cookie array is used. And finally session tracking, where the session details are stored at the server itself, and you can have different functions to start the session and use the session variables. And finally, the values can be accessed using $_session superglobal array here. These are the references made for